Hello and welcome to possibly the cheapest hotel I've stayed in this year. This room here in Norwich, where I'm staying because of a couple of business meetings tomorrow, cost me £31. Let me explain to you in this Metology Minute the psychology behind why sometimes being too cheap can backfire when you're trying to influence and persuade others. My name is Jonathan Bradshaw and welcome to this week's Metology Minute. Yes, welcome to Norwich. Do come and visit this fantastic medieval city, dripping in history, if you're ever in the UK, in East Anglia, Norwich. Well worth a visit. And I'm here because two of our suppliers, two companies we work with, one in the social media sector and one in the web and digital marketing sector, are based here. So I've been coming up here for a couple of years now. And yet, although I've been here before, this hotel I mean, when I first saw it, the £31 that I mentioned earlier put me off. I was thinking, well, it can't be so good, can it? Because it's not very expensive. And this week I've got two bits of psychological research that back up that phenomenon and that suggest if you're in sales or business development, actually being too cheap might be detrimental to the sales that you're trying to make. The first bit of research relates to wine and comes from the California Institute of Technology. They did some research where they got some wine together and gave it to people to taste, and they wanted these people to rate the taste of it and say how good it was. Now, they were a bit tricky though, because they actually used the same wine twice in the experiment. They said to the people who were drinking it and testing it that it was a cheap wine, and they used the same wine and they said it was more expensive. And interestingly, when they were told it was cheap, people said it didn't taste very good, it must be cheap wine. When the same wine was drunk, when the people were told it was expensive, they rated it far more positively. Interesting stuff. There's also some neuroscience in here. I'll put the link, as always, to both of these bits of research on the website. But it looks like a part of the brain gets tricked into thinking it's enjoying the experience more because it's been told, it's learned, that it's more expensive. Interesting stuff. The other bit of research comes from, let's have a look, Carnegie Mellon University, which looked at advice. So not a thing, not an experience, a taste in terms of wine, but when you're telling someone, maybe you're a consultant giving advice. In that scenario, when people were receiving free advice versus paid for advice, they valued the paid for advice far more than the one they were getting free. Now, Metology, it's not about sales at all, particularly. We're trying to get people to be better, to connect, interact and communicate. But one of the key components of our 5-stage Piciri behavioural model is influence. And this relates to influence. When you're interacting with somebody, if you're trying to influence them, justify your price. Don't necessarily discount. My first job in sales was as an advertising sales executive, selling classified advertising. And my boss always said to me, once you've gone down in price, it's very difficult to get it up again. Well, here's some research that suggests why taking it down or reducing your prices might be a really negative and detrimental thing to do for your sales figures anyway. As I said, both the links will be on the website. Do have a look if you're interested. And remember, if you want to learn more about Metology, the behavioural science powering world-class people skills, head over to metology.com, sign up to get these weekly Metology minutes every week and learn more about the keynote presentations and the Metology workshop that my colleague Dr. Paul Redford and I have delivered in over 30 countries in the last few years. It's the most important skill that you and your team can develop. I hope it's been an interesting one this week. But I'll be back in a week's time with another one, another Metology Minute. And until then, have a great 7 days and I'll see you in a week's time. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.